Hey everybody, Jeff Dunham. Welcome to the podcast, the Jeff Dunham Podcast. We're here with Jeff Rothman and Matt McNeil. Gentlemen, how are you? Everything great?
Everything's great.
It's good. It's great. Happy to hear it. So,
check out Rothman's T-shirt. I have not seen this T-shirt since 2009, I think.
That was our television show that we had, like Matt said, 2009. And how many episodes did we have on Comedy Central? 9?
We had,
6?
it was 8. Yeah,
Oh,
there were
8. Sorry.
40 segments, I think.
Yeah, 40 segments. That's the amazing part.
That was quite an undertaking, that show.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
At least Walter hasn't changed a bit.
All right. So that's who our guest today is on my podcast that we'll get to here is Walter. And Walter has been a part of my act for, oh boy, since 1987, I think. And I met him years ago in Waco, Texas, where I was had been going to Baylor, and I had just graduated from Baylor. And he entered the act, and I don't think I would be where I am today had it not been for him. Because going on the Tonight Show, he was Johnny's favorite of my guys, and it was he was something completely different. Most people had not experienced before. A lot of people hadn't. Just this seemingly negative guy, but a curmudgeon. And I didn't know how long he would last in the act. I thought 2-3 minutes maybe tops. But then when he came out and started talking about his wife and their lack of relationship and the troubles with marriage and something I didn't know about yet, everything seemed to really succeed and people could identify with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, again, and like that sort of Archie Bunker archetype, you're looking at a guy who, has a point of view and, is willing to put it out there. And that's one of the things I like about
No filter.
No filter for
guy.
Walter. And again, there are people like that exist in the world. It may or may not be my point of view or your point of view, but it's a point of view, and it's an honest point of view. And that's kind of what I enjoy about his company.
Right. So yeah. So the bottom line is it is kind of refreshing. It is the same way with some of these guys with the podcast. It's refreshing to hear folks talk about man or woman talk about. See how I had to qualify that? I couldn't just say guys. I couldn't say guys.
Right.
It's men and women. People. Folks. When they speak their mind. And Walter was just that. And the folks with the podcast that speak their mind that don't watch themselves, it is a little bit refreshing and unusual now. And the folks that are protected by their own success. Adam Carolla is one of those. He has his own podcast. He doesn't have to answer to anybody. He can say whatever he thinks, and he just keeps going.
Yeah. He has his crowd.
Right.
Yeah, but if you go back and listen to all the podcasts that you've done to date and the interviews, it's really interesting to sort of hear the frustration in the voices from all of the comedians that you've talked to in regard to sort of where we are and where comedy is going. I'll be interested to see what Walter's point of view is on all of it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, Jeff, you go back with Walter a bit, right?
Yeah, I remember my first, I guess you can call it run-in, because I was with you on the road. We were working in Las Vegas, I remember, at the Sahara at the time.
Oh, that goes way back.
Remember that?
Yeah, that's when the Sahara,
yeah.
and it wasn't a comedy club. They had the big room there.
Yeah, nice showroom.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it was my first big showroom there, and I really enjoyed the opening, being the opening act there, and it was exciting. And then I remember, I don't know if it was one night or all the nights, but you forgot the Dear Walter cards from the audience. The audience would ask questions on these cards,
Right.
and somebody would collect them. And I think I came on stage to hand you the cards because you had left them backstage or something.
Right.
Uh-oh.
And as I brought them out to you and Walter for the Dear Walter section, he started like berating me. What took you so long, Rothman? And he's looking right at me and froze like a deer in headlights. I didn't know how to answer him. He's talking to me. I just want to drop these cards off. And he's like, well, speak, you idiot. And you start berating me in front of all these people. And now and I was so upset that I couldn't think of anything. I just got done.
And so that's where Rothband stage fright comes from.
Yeah, that's when I
That's the moment.
About bringing out those cards again.
You're right. I have zero
Talk to me again.
recollection.
Like,
I have zero recollection of that because
questions.
yeah, I have zero recollection of that because it made no impact on me whatsoever.
No. Yeah, apparently not. I wasn't even looking at you. I was just kept looking right at Walter, who was looking at me, going, "Well, what are you going to speak or what? You just going to stand there?" And I just felt like, wow, I really failed Walter. I couldn't even think of an answer. I couldn't sleep that night. I remember that.
Couldn't sleep that night. That's awful. Yeah, those were all Bill Blumenreich's gigs. Yeah, do you remember Bill Blumenreich?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I remember those.
Those were all his gigs, and it was a sweet paying gig. It was fun. It was great. But yeah, I'm sorry, Jeff. I don't remember that, and
okay.
I'm sure Walter would apologize if he was here, but probably not.
No, yeah, probably not. Anyways, it's obviously left an imprint on me, and I'm in therapy now, I think.
That's great. And I have found when Walter talks to, that's a perfect example of, in those early days when I was doing the comedy clubs, he'd have to go in early, a day early, because he had to get up on that Wednesday morning or Thursday and Friday morning to go do early morning radio at all the local stations. And of course, every station, every club had to deal with a handful of stations that will advertise on you, but then you have to take our comedians as guests in the morning. And most of the time, I think there were a handful of comics that the morning shows would enjoy. And then other times it was an obligatory thing. They had to do it. And, but the first few times that I would go through those radio stations, the first time I'd be there, first and second time I'd be there, they didn't know, what to expect. And they thought it was so stupid. Why are we having a ventriloquist on the radio? This is the dumbest thing ever. And then they would say, well, all right, because I always ask, what are your setups? What do you want us to ask you about? Just like any talk show. So then you can go into your material. And I would always I learned this after a short amount of time. I said, you don't need to ask me anything. Just say hi. We'll run with it. And it'd be like, what? And Walter would have done a great amount of research on the town and the guys and the whatever was going on in the news. And the guys would just say, good morning. And here's Jeff Dunham and Walter. And then Walter would just take off. And then it got to be throughout the years that these guys loved it because they didn't have to do anything.
Right.
They didn't have to research me. They didn't have to know what I was promoting. They didn't have to know why I was there, because Walter would just take over and have fun with it. And then there were a handful of radio stations or morning shows. There was one guy in Cleveland. I can't remember his name, but he was scared to death of Walter. Wouldn't get near him, wouldn't look at him. Yeah. But I mean, he was literally afraid of him like you'd be afraid of a dog. And the other guys would just make fun of him, and he'd be over in the corner, literally cowering. He must have had some sort of phobia against old men. Against old men.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
So, yeah. So Matt, when did you
for him looking right at me? That stunned me.
Oh yeah, and many.
He looked upset.
Yeah, many reporters have really not known where to go when talking to Walter, but they'll talk right to him, and it's great. So Matt, what was your first? Do you remember your first impression running with him?
I think the first time I ever worked with Walter was probably on one of your tour opens for the live show. But the one thing that actually sticks out to me is like is grouchy or curmudgeonly as Walter is, his work ethic is second to none. I remember when we were shooting the 24 spoof,
right?
And it was sort of late at night. We were shooting in your office, and Walter tripped and hit his head, and I thought, well, there goes my job and career.
Oh yeah.
I didn't think he'd show up the next day, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
And sure enough, the next morning he was on set, ready to go, like nothing had happened. And I honestly, I thought that was the end. But he really made no mention of it. I couldn't believe it. Like he pretended nothing happened, but
But the guy
That
who
was
left
like-
the guy who left the piece of equipment there, it wasn't you, it was the other guy. He thought he was going to be fired.
Yeah, but still, you know, it's sort of like I'm directing this thing, and the star has literally, you know,
You don't want him to get injured.
got knocked out.
And what's amazing was there was no evidence that he'd hurt himself.
Oh
Yeah,
my
that's
God!
good.
But I couldn't. That's what I couldn't believe. I literally thought the next morning we were gonna have to rewrite the whole
Yeah.
thing or figure out because Walter was the president. He was the most important part of this. The whole thing.
That's
So
right.
If anybody hasn't seen our 24 spook, you should check it out. But I mean, we were maybe 3/4 of the way through shooting that thing, and it was complicated. And so anyway, I was just really, really impressed with his resiliency.
You know what's amazing is that we're talking about 24, and of course Archie Bunker, forget about it. But even 24, there's a group of there's a section of the audience watching this or listening to this right now that has no idea what 24 is.
I know, isn't that crazy?
Wow, really?
Yeah, that was such a watershed television moment.
Yeah. It feels like it wasn't that long ago, but I guess it was.
Yeah. So what were the years? What in the 90s? It wasn't the 90s, was it? No.
No, I think it was early 2000s.
Early
Early
2000s.
2000s.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
still like, 20 years ago.
15 years ago. Yeah, maybe.
Hold on. Let's see
Okay.
here. Ready? When did the television show 24 debut? Let's see how good Siri is here. All right. Let's see what she says. Which one? 2001. There you go.
Oh.
Yeah. All right.
But it ran for 8 or 9 years, right? It was
Yeah.
Yeah, it did run
it
for
had
a while.
it had legs.
And I didn't
Yeah.
get into it until like the 4th season when somebody, might have been you and Rick or Matt, talked me into it. And I or it could have been Kenna, my daughter, who knows? She was 10 years old watching that kind of stuff. And yeah, it was I was hooked. And then I went and got the DVDs, that when DVDs were big, and got the first 3 seasons and binged it. And yeah. Kiefer was awesome.
Right.
Just awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's so. Yeah, if you haven't, if the audience hasn't seen that video, check it out on YouTube. It's well worth.
You mean our spoof?
6 minutes. The
Yeah.
spoof, yes.
Yeah, spoof.
the spoof.
From 24.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
And,
my.
and even if you haven't seen 24, like so many things have copied 24 that you don't need that as even a point of reference to understand what it was that we were.
Or just go binge 24 and then
Or you could do that too.
Yeah. You know, one of those things, Matt, that I have talked about for years and wanted to do on my show was their ins and outs and what they would do with was it always in quads? It was either 2 or 4, where they would show 4 things going on at the same time. Chink, 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 and you'd see, so simultaneously you would see the good guy doing what he was doing, the bad guy doing what he was doing, the damsel that was getting ready to be in distress where she was walking, all at the same time as they were going to commercial or coming back from commercial, right? Yeah. And I've always wanted to do that in my show, where in one of my specials, where the character tells a joke and gets a laugh, and then we still have the main shot, the 2 shot of me and the guy on stage, but then you get audience shots all at the same time. You got a long shot, you pull all the way back, then you've got close-ups of people laughing. I just think that would be a really interesting way of editing. And you told me we did that on something to a small degree.
Well, we sort of kind of did transitions like that for All Over the Map, but we didn't do it the way that you're talking about it.
Yeah.
And I don't disagree with you. Every producer that we've ever worked with always, for some reason, finds a reason not to do it.
But they
I
always
still
say
feel
yes. This is what drives me crazy. They go, "Oh, well, yeah, we'll do that. That's a great idea."
true.
And there's
We love it.
one particular guy we know. "Oh, yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that." And then by the time we get to final edit, I'll be sitting in the room going, "Wait a minute. You guys said you were going to do this. Nobody did it."
And they won't even try it. They won't even say, "Can we see that it doesn't work?" Like they're just like, "Yeah, no."
Yeah. I
Everyone's
know
afraid to
it.
confront you.
I know it would work because you only do it during the laugh. That's it.
Right.
You don't do it, during the setup and all that. You do it while people are laughing. It's just
And we got 16 cameras, man. We could go anywhere.
all right.
Yeah.
So we'll do that on the next one. Damn it.
Yeah.
And if you don't see it in the next special, it means it didn't work.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll do it.
Yeah, you're right.
It
There's
means
no
those
harm,
producers are right.
and it could all be done in post. It is all done in post. So
we don't
it,
have to commit until
yeah, if
it's
it
ready to
doesn't
go.
matter, then who cares? All right. So I did this interview with Walter yesterday, and he's a great guy. Been around a long time, and he is a curmudgeon. On the surface, people may think he's just this mean old man, but I think he does have a heart. He claims he doesn't love his wife. I really think deep down he does, but I don't know. You guys ready?
Yeah. Oh, and he answered some audience questions from last week.
Remember? Oh, that's right. We asked folks for questions, and everybody emailed them in, and we went through, got a handful of them, and Walter names people and reads those questions at the end. So stick around for that. All right, here he is.
Cool.
Walter.
Do it.
All right.
Well, folks, I'm going to introduce my guest today the same way that I introduce him just about every night that we're on stage together. You know this guy in your own family or where you work. Please help me welcome my old friend, Walter. And I will drag him in like this. There we go. There's Walter. Walter, you doing okay today?
Yeah, whatever.
Well, it is great to have you on my podcast.
I still don't know what the hell a podcast is. What are we doing?
Well, we're going to talk about just about anything, and then people can listen whenever they want.
What are we going to talk about? Dummies? Oh, yay! What, cars? Toys, computer crap, UFOs. Look, hey, Jeff, no one cares.
You know, Walter, a lot of people do care about what you have to say.
Can't we do this without you being here? Never mind. Ask me your stupid questions. Fire away, dumbass.
All right, great. So, Walter, well, this is the easy one. What have you been doing during this time of more than a year during the pandemic?
Trying to get the hell out of my house. What? Have you met my wife?
She's a lovely woman.
Compared to who?
Walter.
And another thing. It's amazing she and I have been married after spending 24 hours a day together for all this time. It is not natural.
Come on, you're a lucky man.
What? Oh, yeah, I guess I am. Yeah, lucky. You know why I'm lucky? Why? Well, because she's a bad shot.
So your wife shot at you during the pandemic?
Yeah. I actually take that over her talking to me all the time.
Really?
Yeah. If she's not shooting, she's talking.
Shooting her mouth?
Shut the hell up.
But she talks a lot?
She never quits. If you don't see me wearing my mask, it's because I stuffed it in my ears.
Fine. So, you do wear a mask?
It doesn't work. No. My wife still recognizes me.
Fine. So you went out of the house?
There's a good reason God made it so men had to leave the cave and go hunting for food.
Hunting for food?
Yeah, and now it's to go to work. Same thing. We were meant to leave, be gone all day, then come home tired, eat dinner, and go to sleep. That, my friend, is how marriages work.
Okay,
I don't want to hold each other and talk about our feelings while watching the frickin' Crown. Sorry, I hate my life.
Walter,
do you know why crime is up right now?
Why?
Because women are killing the husbands they can't stand to be with. Well, I see it every night on Dateline.
Any other problems, Walter?
I don't know. During the pandemic, my wife put on a great deal of weight, if you know what I'm saying.
Well, that's happened to a lot of people.
Yeah, now during her Zoom meetings, she no longer fits in her box.
Walter,
oh, come on, she's huge now.
I'm sure she's not that big.
Oh, yeah? Last time she went swimming, she got stuck in the Suez Canal. Thank you. Good night. No, my wife has gotten so fat during COVID. Come on, say it.
No.
Come on.
All right, Walter, how fat is she?
She achieved herd immunity all by herself.
All right. You talked about wanting to get out of the house. Isn't it possible some couples love being together all the time?
In a crack-induced coma.
You know, Audrey and I love being together.
You're both on crack. How much older are you than Audrey?
18 years.
You idiot. At this point, she's your caregiver.
You know, that's terrible.
Yeah, it is. What a life for her. She's like your live-in life alert button. She just calls 911 whenever you fall in the shower. He's falling and he can't give up. And I'm in the middle of making tofu.
You know, I'd like to ask you some more questions.
I'd like to be put to sleep.
What were you like as a kid?
I had hair. And I was single.
Uh-huh.
Now I'm bald and trapped in a house with fat Cruella.
Walter, you know, it's kind of the society we live in now, but you're not supposed to say fat.
Oh, pull your head out. She's a walking zip code.
You know, you and your wife could have grown closer during the pandemic.
Oh, really? Did you see King Kong versus Godzilla?
Yes.
That was loosely based on my marriage.
All right, I'm curious. Which one's Godzilla?
Oh, my life. She can breathe nuclear fire and melt your face.
So I'm guessing the love life is not so great.
It used to be.
It did.
Oh, yeah.
You two ever joined the Mile High Club?
You think there's any airplane that can get her a mile off the ground?
That's nice. Did you do anything special for your last anniversary?
Yeah, we went to a swanky hotel and acted out my greatest fantasy.
Oh, should we ask what that was?
Yeah, we got separate rooms.
That's nice. Let's move on to your early life.
Whatever.
Did you have a happy childhood?
Do I look like I was hugged a lot?
How was your upbringing?
It was tough. My mom had to raise us 5 kids all by herself.
Oh, where was your dad?
On the couch.
Well, that's pretty sad.
Then he left us.
Why?
Mom said he found a better couch.
So, who were you in high school? I ask everybody that.
Well, you know the star jock athlete that got all the girls and had an awesome car?
Ah, that was you?
No, I was the guy who made fun of that asshole.
Did you get beat up a lot?
That's the one thing you and I have in common, my friend.
I did not get beat up a lot.
You should have, and it's never too late. I'll come over and kick your ass right now.
Did you have friends?
A few good ones.
Well, now there's something we do have in common.
My friends didn't live in a suitcase.
Sounds like you were one of those kids who mouthed off a lot. Is that true?
Well, you know that expression, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all?
Of course.
That's ridiculous.
What was your first job?
You kicked my screen. I saw that. What are you doing?
I'm sorry about that.
It's okay. Whoa. Hold on.
Okay, sorry about that.
Technical difficulties. Yeah.
I forgot what I was talking about.
Yeah, guess what? It doesn't matter. No one cares. Is this live?
It is live in once, and then they have to go back and look for it.
I don't even know what that means.
Okay, so here's what I was going to ask you.
Oh, great. I can't wait.
What was your first job?
In high school, I was a lifeguard.
No, you weren't.
Yes, I was.
I never knew you were trained to be a lifeguard.
I wouldn't. We lost 8 folks that summer.
Walter,
I don't know why, but I don't even float. Go figure.
How'd you get into comedy?
I never did. What I say just seems funny because whatever you say isn't.
Can you tell us any funny stories from your time on the road?
I remember one time we were in some town and this drunk woman kept heckling me, yelling I sucked and to get off the stage.
What'd you do?
Told her if she didn't shut the hell up, I was going to divorce her.
How did you know when you finally made it?
Well, I guess that would be when you and I were on a Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, and during a commercial break, when you weren't paying attention, he told me to lose the excess baggage.
Excess baggage?
Yeah, you.
And what's your greatest failure?
Never listening to Johnny Carson.
Have you ever been canceled?
I still don't know what that means. If I'm canceled, can't I just find another network or get on Netflix again?
No, a major topic these days has been the cancel culture. Have you ever wondered about some offensive joke that you did in the past that might come back to haunt you?
No.
None?
No.
Why not?
Don't pretend. We all know they'll come for you first. Thanks for believing in the magic, Jeff.
So, who are some of your favorite comedy performers?
Well, there were so few. So few. Can I think me?
No.
Can I think you?
Sure.
Nope, can't think anybody.
Thanks a lot. What do you do when you're not working?
I tack up and tell my wife that you and I are going on tour that week.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
And where do you go?
The IHOP.
You do not.
I do too.
And where do you stay?
In a box.
A box.
I'm used to it.
So you pretend you're homeless.
No, I have a box.
That does not happen.
And it was easy. I got my wife a new refrigerator in the middle of the pandemic.
To stock up on food.
No, so I could take the box and live outside.
Walter,
I'm dead serious. I'm posing as a homeless person in our side yard, and she too scared to run me off.
I know you joke about the wife, but you've been together for decades, so you obviously love her. What?
I'm trying to figure out the obvious part.
Does your wife get upset with your wife jokes?
She has no idea.
How is that possible?
Well, trust me, she is not watching your shows, buddy.
You do make a lot of marriage jokes.
I don't mean to. I'm serious about all this stuff. Let's see if everyone still laughs when they wake up next to Cruella and her mud mask.
How long you been married?
Wow.
What?
You're just like Ultra, digging up touchy subjects and trying to get me to cry.
People say you look just like Joe Biden. Do you see the resemblance?
Well, you know, us old white dudes, they all look alike to me.
Are you similar to him in any other way?
Well, I think so, but I've forgotten. So I guess that's a yes.
Would you consider yourself woke?
Until I talk to you, then I'm dead asleep.
Did you get your shots?
Don't be stupid. I'm still waiting to see if the polio vaccine has any side effects.
I'm talking about the current pandemic. You know, I got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine.
I thought the only thing Johnson & Johnson made was that kid shampoo called No More Tears. Well, hopefully, since you got theirs, it's the No More Clots version. I'd hate for you to go stiff in the middle of the show and fall over and I'm sitting there, egg on my face.
You know, some people who got COVID lost their sense of taste.
Oh, so they became fans of yours.
I really don't know why I put myself through this.
Yeah, no one else does either. Are we done?
No.
Why not?
We got a few questions. We asked the folks online last week to send in their questions if they had something they wanted me to ask you.
Oh, this is just great. More wasted time. Thanks a lot, folks. Get a life.
All right. I got a couple of them here for you.
Great. Can't wait. Just great. Yeah. Okay. Am I getting paid for this?
No, you don't get paid for being on a podcast.
What good is this?
All right. Here's from a fan, Doug Osgood.
Oh, good.
So, Walter, if you could give your junior high self advice, what would it be?
Let's see. When gym coach Doug asked for a volunteer to play dead for his CPR demonstration, do not raise your hand. God damn, there's me.
All right, Jan Millinger.
Okay, Jan?
Oh.
What? Come on, read it.
Walter, how old were you when you lost your virginity?
Oh, I don't remember exactly, but it's good to hear from you again, Jan. See how I did that on the Genius.
Come on, I guess answer the question.
Okay, when I lost it, I was only 17, but I think I found it again after 25 years of marriage.
All right. Christian D. Chapra says, Walter, if you were to ever throw a pie in Jeff's face, what flavor would it be?
Oh, let's see. Any pie made by my wife. It tastes bad and probably knock him out. Sorry, buddy.
Whatever. All right. Another one? Sure. Kenyon Henry?
Isn't that name backwards? Should be Henry Kenyon?
It says Kenyon Henry.
Oh, okay. Maybe he's writing it like he's filling out a form.
It says, Walter, raising kids is hard enough, but the issues we face now make it even harder.
Yes, it does.
What parenting advice do you have for someone with 6 kids?
Good Lord. Kenyon, stop sleeping with your wife and find a woman who runs an adoption agency. How about that?
Cheyenne Walls?
Cheyenne Walls?
It says, hi, Walter. I was wondering if you could give some advice about driving.
No driving.
Because I'm doing some driving over the summer and hopefully getting my license.
First thing you need to learn when driving is to not text me your questions, dimwit.
Lori Price?
She's got one on her head. She has a price on her head. Yeah, I know, I'm genius.
Says, Walter, what is your favorite hobby?
Answering dumbass questions from the internet.
All right, how about Terry Schoonover?
Schoonover.
Do you still do greetings at Walmart?
Oh, I do it all the time, but the manager keeps calling the cops on me because I don't work there. Yeah, it was good. I like that one. Thanks for that.
Sure. Amelia Summers?
She's better in the fall.
Walter, I would like to know where you get your sense of humor from, your mom or your dad?
Neither. They're dead. I hate you, Amelia.
And how about from Kevin Bryant?
All right, Kevin.
All right. Walter, if you were to run for office, what would your slogan be for your campaign?
Vote me, and I'll eliminate all taxes. Fix your own damn roads.
Good.
Yep.
Sam Dillabo.
Dillabo. He's playing with a Dillabo.
Walter, if you had the opportunity, would you be the first person on Mars?
If I don't have to do any more podcasts, count me in.
So, that's it for the question.
Oh, good. That was so much fun.
Yeah. So what's, I ask everybody this, Walter, what's next for you? What's next for Walter?
Ending this damn podcast. Are we done?
Sure. So
What do I do now? What? How do I end this? Where's the damn button on there?
I don't know. Walter?
Honey, I'm done. What a dumbass. He's even worse in person than on stage. No, he didn't ask to see your face. That'll never happen. The rumors are true. He really is an idiot. I can't believe I worked for that chump.
I can hear you.
20 minutes of my life I'll never get back.
I can hear you.
Endless.
I can hear you.
Silence! I kill you!